let's go ahead and give this a shot. Alright, as if I didn't have enough videos already. I got this Suzuki GS 425 from 1979. I got this free off Craigslist the other day. It was listed as free, so I was hoping I could just maybe clean the carb. It had all the materials, maybe spark plug, new battery, and boom, we're up and going. Turns out it's a dud, it's a lemon, because it has nothing in it. It's missing the engine cover here, it's missing the carburetor. There's a ton of valves, there's a ton of random screws missing. Now I took off the seat over here and I took off the the gas Suzuki fiberglass cover. That looks nice. When it was all put together, it looked put together. It looked like a real motorcycle. However, given that all this stuff is missing, even missing the oil cap here, spark plugs are gone. I don't know about the wiring or the boots. Well, I either recycle this thing, look for the exact model engine, that would cost thousands of dollars. Since this frame, it's best to reuse. Our next project's getting started. Let's see what we can amp this up with. All right, so here's our mock-up so far. You saw I cut these two brackets. I'm gonna weld them right here to the frame. And then actually, if you look deep here, this is the base of the fence post. All right, so you can see here that first we bolted down with those little rubber washers over there just for vibration onto the steel plate. We bolted down the Predator 212. This here is a torque converter. You can follow instructions online, but basically this is the clutch, or what comes out of the Predator. You convert it here for the torque converter. Hopefully that gives me better acceleration. I've installed it all. All right, it took us an absurd amount of time to get this step, but engine's bolted. All right, now we're gonna put the throttle. So the motorcycle throttle here still works. It's just simply a cable. You can turn the handle there. This will go up, but I have to cut this off because you have to put the cable right through into the throttle over there and then drill this screw down that will hold the cable in place. So there she is in all her beauty and glory. I want to provide an update. So we're just waiting on the engine mount screws over here on the steel plate to I put Loctite on them. So just waiting for that to cure because vibration, I don't want this engine popping off for any reason. I put Loctite on this torque converter as well on that nut. That's a nylon nut over there, so that should hold. And then the belt, really, if you're doing this build, you just have to listen to any rattling, sudden noise, metal clanking changes. So for example, I heard some chain slapping. I tightened the chain and it loosened again. So I readjusted the back wheel over there. And I'm going to show you the sprocket work over here. I was waiting to use a 530 chain sprocket in front on the torque converter. I do not recommend that. This torque converters are built for go-karts for the 420 chain. You see them all over Amazon. No such thing as a 530. So you can see here a 420 sprocket. But if you look closely over here, I had to metal grind the sprocket on. It looks worse than it actually is, but I had to bore the hole so that it matched the old sprocket over here. So the one that comes in the go-kart kits, or most sprockets really, I tried a couple. Just the bore wasn't big enough for it. So In essence, I had to bore this using angle grinder and just get in there and widen the bore a little bit. And then even more so, I had to drill different like hole lengths with my drill bits, 5/8. So you can see these are all oily. Pro tip I learned, just dip your drill bit in motor oil, go slowly. Eventually I had to bore these holes so that it would fit exactly on the sprocket. And if you know anything about metal drilling, man, that can take all day. And you had to be precise, because if I even had one misaligned, then all bolts wouldn't go through. Luckily, I got all 6 of these guys to mount, or all 5 of them, to mount perfectly on it. I am a little bit concerned about, did I get it exactly right, and will that mess up with any of the chain tightening, length, gear ratio? I don't know yet. One thing though is this sprocket here being 420, and just machining it myself. I swear I searched Amazon, everything for a 420 sprocket for these Suzuki bikes. I just could not find it, so I had to make it myself. You notice that the sprocket is actually smaller on here, so the gear on the back wheel is smaller in terms of its radius, so this should actually go faster in theory. One more thing on the build so far is the tooling over here, or the speedometer specifically. That still works because it's connected to the front tire. It's cable based. It's one of the older ones, and so right now we're just debugging, taking ourselves very, very slowly, very carefully, just to make sure that my welds hold. You can see big bead here, way more reinforced than before, huge bead over there. Making sure everything holds. You can see the Loctite settling in over there. That's the main thing, just making sure that everything is secure as we go and just test out everything, make sure everything stays. On the track, it's kind of loud. We're going to see what the top speed is on this guy.